How's it going, guys? Today I wanted to take a step back and show you how we do a two-skirt lure. I know we already showed you the three-skirt method, but some of you guys are brand new to trolling, so I thought I'd go back and show you the two-skirt way. So, um, with your skirt, I think I went over this, but with your skirt, you have a head, you have your neck, and then basically your body, and then your lure head, neck. So I want to put the neck to the neck. And what I do is where this skirt pinches down like this, I put that right about where the inside part of the back step is. So you're gonna measure it there, line that up, and you want the cut to be right here, right at the back of the actual head. So normally cut it two ways to get it straight. I'll make my initial cut and then I'll even it out. And then I'll check it. So I'll butt the cut up against the head, and I probably want to take off just a little bit more. So now the narrow of the neck goes right in there. And I want to leave a little bit of space right here so I can get my finger in there to flip the skirt. And then this is coconut oil. We normally use silicone spray here at the shop, but if you're skirting at home, silicone spray is going to get all over the place, and like your floor is going to get slippery, your carpet's going to get slippery. So if you're skirting at home, this works really well too. So just gonna put a little bit inside of the skirt, and put some on the lure head as well. And just send that in. Line up your lateral lines where you want them. And you can kind of see it naturally sinks in right at the beginning of the second step. And I got a little gap here just so I can get my finger in there, because we're gonna flip this skirt over. Take your wax line, and again, the knot that I use, I just go 1, 2, 3. And then with the tag end, I go over, and then I pull it down. I cinch it down, and I turn the head this way as I pull the line up into the notch. And then I finish the knot left over right. Cut the extra off. And now I'm just gonna flip that top skirt over. So depending on your the underskirt that you choose, it's gonna vary, but like if it's got a lot of color, then the underskirt will actually kind of flare out kind of big, but this one lines up pretty good where the height of here is pretty much the same height as the first step. It's actually a little higher, but when you bring the outside skirt to butt up against here, it'll be one continuous line, level. So, okay, so for your top skirt, you want to kind of keep the legs as close to the lure head as possible. So, line up the end of the cuts just behind the last step. And that would be right here. But you got to give a little bit of extra because that's going to slide here. And so you got to give your cut this extra length. It'll make sense later because you're going to actually come the skirt over the top and flip it over. So I don't know if that was the best explanation of it, but oh well. Okay, so I go there and then I line it up right there. Okay, so I'm gonna make my cut and then I'm gonna even it out. And I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna put the beginning of the cuts in the skirt right where I want it and see if I have enough space. So I probably want to cut just a little bit more off again. You can cut this top skirt a little bit shorter because when you push it on the lure head, it's actually going to stretch quite a bit. And then when you flip it back, it's going to shrink back down, yeah, so. That's about where I want it. So now you're going to take the outer skirt, flip it inside out, take your coconut oil, good thing about coconut oil too is it doesn't dry out like silicone spray. So you don't have to respray the head. Okay, for these, with like this salmon has a purple line on it. I get it to where it's going over but not all the way, and now I'll go and I'll line up my lateral line. Make sure that's where I want it before it actually runs over the head, because sometimes once it gets to this point it's hard to twist it. So you want to bring this top skirt to butt up against your bottom skirt. Just work it around. So it looks like that. Now you can see this is a pretty level piece. Take your line and tie that top skirt on the same way. One, two, three. Cinch it down, twist it, and this one you really want to make sure you pull it towards you. Finish off your knot. Okay, now you're gonna get your coconut oil, and I'd like to just put a bead right around here, because as you flip this, the rubber won't stick to itself. Flip it over. And now when you look at this lure head, this part, for the most part, is a streamlined one continuous flow. I don't know if you can see that on the cam, but Yamashita skirts tend to be wide over here, so sometimes it's too, like you see how it comes nice over here, and then right here it gets a little hips. What you can do to help let that lay down nicer is, if you notice, Yamashita skirts always have, let's see if I can find a blue one. Okay, it always has this. This must be where they join the skirt or something, but there's always a ugly looking leg. And I take that and I kind of count 2 legs away, and I put a relief cut in there. And then I skip 2 legs and I'll put a relief cut. Skip 2 legs and I'll put a relief cut. And then I'll go back the other way and I'll look for the spot where it's bulging. Skip 2 legs, put a relief cut, skip 2 legs, put a relief cut. If I need to, I'll go all the way around, but that helps this to kind of settle more nicely. So that's your, can you see that? Clean the head off. That's your 2 skirt method. So now we're going to go into a little bit of a different situation when you're tying 2 skirts on. Okay. So these type of skirts, like if you got a lot of color on your skirt, this has orange, it has pink, and it has white, and they gotta, I guess, layer all the colors on, which makes this skirt, even though it's the same manufacturer, this is a cousin skirt. Even though it's the same manufacturer, the pink and white is a lot thinner than this creamsicle. So when you go to flip it over, it's gonna have like a big bubble on the back of your head, which we don't want. So I'm gonna show you how to fix that. So do everything the same, line up the neck. You don't gotta be super anal about where you cut it at the top with this one. I don't know if you can tell, but this skirt is sticking up way higher than the first notch. And ideally, like if I was normally skirting this head, I would just cut this ring off right now. I don't know if you can see this, but you see how the bottom, because it doesn't have the orange on there, it's pretty much where we want it to be. It's nice and flat. But the top, with that extra layer of orange, now there's this bump there. And that's a good indication that, you know, it's not the way you tied it, or it's not whichever lure head you have, the way they cut the notch. It's the actual skirt manufacturer. Just, it's got a lot of layers of color here. So I would normally cut it off there, but just to show you guys what it looks like, I'm gonna leave it on there for now. So same process, a little bit of oil just so the rubber doesn't stick, and then flip it over. Okay. This might be hard to see on the video, but let's see. How can I show this to you guys? know if you can see it, but if you look at, it's hard to see on the video, but if you trace this head, it comes along here. Here's your first step, and then right here is where the second skirt starts, and it raises up like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. The bottom side's pretty straight. It's just nice and straight. But the top, it looks like a hunchback, basically, lure. Kind of looks like a hunchback. So, that's why I would cut that off. And again, I would do this before you put the top skirt on, but if you not sure, or you forgot, or you don't know if it's gonna bulge or not, then you can still do it. It's a little more tricky this way, but basically you're gonna wanna coconut oil and flip your outer skirt back. And then you can take either a razor blade and just cut that part that you flipped over off, or you can take a small scissors like this. Again, this is way easier if you don't have the outside skirt on there, but I just wanted to show you guys. So I'm gonna cut the underskirt off right at the step. So now you're just left with the underskirt. And I can tell already that it's a lot more streamlined. So flip your outside skirt back over. And that basically eliminates that bulge there. So now you got a more streamlined lure. Does it affect the way the fish bite your lure? Probably not. I've seen guys lures where this back is just bulging way over the head, and it bites. And then it's obvious it bites, the head's all busted up, but I just like that streamlined look a lot better. So just a couple of things to keep in mind if you guys are brand new to skirting lures. So hopefully this video helped you. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below, or you can email us at info@sutomolures.com. Thanks guys.